So it's just another lazy day in the office for us. I was sitting here, I got a lot of work done yesterday, and we'd been really working on getting all the orders out, so we're officially caught up, which is great. And one of the things that I was focusing on was the fact that whenever I look out my window, I see a nice winter wonderland. As of, well, 2 days ago, we got, got quite a bit of snow. And one of the things that I've been seeing on my Facebook page was spring's coming in X amount of days, and there's a Facebook page that we follow that updates it every day. And I seen, I think it was like 39 days or 40 days or something like that. I thought, oh my goodness, it's really coming up quick. So basically today that I set out for me to do was to garden plan. That's my goal for today. That's my objective, is to get the garden planned. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I really don't have much else to do, and it's just kind of one of those lazy days. It feels good to relax after a little while. It's been a really busy season so far, which is great. But yeah, I wanted to just bring you all along, do some garden planning, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go. I just want to give a quick shout out to printfreegraphpaper.com. It is a really simple way to print your graph paper if you're planning your garden. I know there's a lot of other apps out there that can do that for you, that can do garden planning and stuff. We like to really just use the paper method, a lot simpler. But basically you can choose which type of graph paper you want, pick the size of paper that you're using, and you can also pick the measurement units and what size we want. We like to use 1/10 Cartesian paper just because we find that the 1/4 inch is a little bit too big. The 1/5 of an inch doesn't make any difference, and the 1/10 just makes a lot more sense. And you can use one square being 1 foot, and you're going to be able to get, for us, we have a really large garden, you're going to be able to get the entire garden in on one piece of paper. So we just use that. And if you're here, don't click any of this stuff. Don't click any of this stuff. Just click this little button that says print. So what we're going to do first is we're going to outline the garden. Our garden is 55 feet by 60 feet. So we find that makes it really easy with this 1/10 inch graph paper. It seems very overwhelming because there's a lot of squares. However, it's actually really easy because each square equals a foot rather than a 1/4 inch where 1.5 cubes might be a foot, or a 1/4 of a cube might be a foot. So it's just more easy to look at each square as a foot. So what we're going to do is we're just going to measure out here 5.5 inches, and it also makes it really easy too, since it's 1/10 of an inch. It's very easy just to say, well, I need 55 squares, and instead of counting out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares, you're just going to go 5.5 inches because it's 1/10 of an inch. So I'm just going to draw that out now. Alright, and then we just need 6 inches to make the 60 cubes that we need. Okay, and there we go. There's our garden, and it seems really small on paper, but trust me, this is going to actually be a lot of raised beds. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our raised beds 4 feet by 10 feet. So each raised bed is going to be 40 square feet. And so basically all we're going to do is we are going to draw out basically what we want for walk paths and for beds. So we have an entranceway that is right in the middle here. I'm just going to notate that. It's actually not right in the middle, it's a little bit off center because this, remember, we extended the garden about 2 years ago, and so this would have been right in the middle, but we added on about, I'd say, another 15 feet, maybe 20 feet onto the garden. So it's a little bit off center. So this is the entranceway. And so typically you'd want like a walk path going all the way down to the garden. And that's kind of going to be the divider between the beds. So we might do 1 row of beds here and then 2 rows of beds here. But we'll just kind of plan it out as we go. And it's nice because I can just keep printing as much graph paper as I want, and I can re-scrap it if I don't like it, and makes it really easy. So I'm basically just drawing in the beds right now. It's taking quite a long time, but it's well worth it to be accurate. What I'm basically doing is I am just putting in dots first. I just measure out basically initially how it's going to be, and then it's very easy to just connect the lines or connect the dots, because you are essentially just following the bed after it, or the bed before it. And what I'm also doing is I'm taking into account wheelbarrow space. So since this is such a large garden, using buckets simply won't do. So for instance, around the border here I have a 2-foot walking path, and in between each bed I have a 2-foot walking path. That's for essential walking space. However, in between rows I actually gave a 3-foot path, and that's going to be just enough to get a wheelbarrow in. So from the main entrance here, we're going to plan this being all open so you can access both beds, as well as go down these little side streets here, or alleyways, and be able to access each individual bed if I need to refill with compost or soil, or harvesting potatoes, let's say, something you need a wheelbarrow for. So that's why I planned it out that way. So each row will have a 3-foot space, and then I really cramped it in here around the borders. It's 1 foot from the very beginning, and then it's 2 feet from each side wall here. So it's going to hopefully give us the most amount of space for our dollar. So before I end here, I'm just going to finish up these beds here, and I'm going to kind of decide if I want some open space for corn and melons and stuff, just some trailing stuff, and kind of where I want to stop, because right now I'm at 21 raised beds. I'm aware of wishful thinking, and I'm definitely wanting to make sure that we don't over wishful think. So this is kind of a good goal. This bed right here that's shaded in is already existing. This is the asparagus bed. I forgot about that, and so I just shaded that in to notate that this one is already built. So that takes up actually 2 beds. So we're only going to have to build 19 more. So it seems like a large undertaking, but we had 13 at the old house, and 13 raised beds was difficult at that age, but I think obviously aiming for like 19 raised beds is pretty good. That means we have all this space here. We can plant corn or melons or a few more raised beds if we want, but I'm going to kind of play this out, think about it over the day, but this is where we're at right now, which is good, and I think that's something to aim for. I think that we're on a good path here, and let me know as well what you'd like to see here. Maybe that'd be a good idea. Do you want to see melons and corn here? Do you want to see all raised beds? Maybe some raised beds running in different directions here. Tell me what you think, and let me know in the comments box below. I'd be really interested. So again, thank you so much for coming along with me today. I know it's pretty just uneventful, but every once in a while you gotta have some of those days. Just sit back, relax, and take it all in, and don't focus on much. It's a nice relaxing day, so I'm going to continue relaxing. Hopefully you all are going to have a relaxing day as well. Let me know what your garden plans are in the comments box below, and also let me know what you think about my plans and kind of some additional ideas that you might have. So I will keep you all updated on any changes that we do to the garden, and it's tentative, so it can change. But basically that's kind of the plan that we're going to go with. It's pretty simple, and everything's running mostly one direction to keep the sun exposure equal, and I know that's a big thing that I want to focus on as well. So keep that in mind when you're giving your ideas, and I'll talk to you all later. This is Luke from the My Gardener channel. I'll catch you all later. See ya. Bye.